Hey, 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 welcome into the Unfiltered Sports Podcast on the One Jets Pod Network. Football Week 5 recap, actually Week 6 recap, and Week 7 look ahead to. I am your host for tonight, Todd Fox, along with
Dominic Lorenz from Catella Chronicles. What's up, fellas?
And Matty Matt from Matty Matt.
Dominique. How was your week? No gloating, by the way, as we look at your record. You might as well say it yourself.
No, man, it was quite a week for the fantasy. Well, fantasy was fine, but on the pick'em side of things, what a week, man. The games were pretty good, at least. I would say we're in this point of the season in week 6 where at least there were some more competitive games. Sorry, Matt.
You're already being disrespectful.
I'm disrespectful early. But week 6 standings for the Unfiltered Sport Podcast, pick'ems, and yours truly, the Dominator, is back in the driver's seat, as you can see right in the middle of the screen. 13-1 record. The damn Broncos let me down in Mile High City. Damn. Then you had Matty Matt with 12-2 record in the silver position. Todd 10-4, and then Randy at the bottom at 9-5. So overall, we're all within a couple of games of each other. Not bad. And then for the fans, good work from the fans this week. 12-2, 10-4, 8-6. Always loving having the fans involved as well.
Gotta have the fans.
Absolutely. Matt, how are you doing, sir?
Hey, man. Hey, let's just skip asking these questions. Okay? You know how the hell I'm feeling. God damn.
Okay.
Oh, what the heck that was, dude? Dude, what Jim Morris said? We got our ass kicked. We just got our ass kicked.
Oh yeah, we'll have plenty of time to talk our teams because 2 out of 3. Actually, it would have, and if he would have been there tonight, Randy, who is missing tonight, we're with you tonight. He had some come up, some frustrating, so he'll be back next week. But Randy,
Randy
from One Jets Pod, much love out to you, brother.
Love you.
But 3 out of 4 of us had bad weeks. Our teams lost, and we'll get in depth on that, plus everything else, because we're going to start with our teams first. But we got a couple of headlines to get into, and I want to get your guys' thoughts on this and try to make it as quickly as possible.
Let's go for it.
2 big trades today in the NFL. Obviously, guys like Pat Mahomes and a few other teams wanted these receivers, but 2 receivers went. Thoughts on who got the better of the deal? Davante Adams to the Jets, or was it Amari Cooper to the Bills? Dominic, you want to start?
Sure. I think at the quick onset of everything happening within a couple of hours of each other, I actually saw the Davante Adams news break live on TV while getting ready this morning for work. I think it's going to, right now, before any game's played, Davante Adams to the Jets is a better move. I think just because of the familiarity between Rodgers and Adams, all the success that they had in Green Bay for all those years. And I think for Davante Adams, it was a situation where going to Vegas, bigger and better things, he wanted to change the scenery. But I think after a year and all the dysfunction that the Raiders have, he really wanted and realized you don't realize sometimes what you have until it's gone. And I think he really realized that with Aaron Rodgers. So to come back in a situation where, yes, the Jets are 2-4, they lost their head coach or fired their head coach, and there's no more excuses for Aaron Rodgers, at least in the mind of the media. Davante Adams, Garrett Wilson, and Breece Hall can get right. Mike Williams, if he even still has a job after last night, because, the way that ended, most Jets fans probably want him out. I wish Randy was here, but I'm pretty sure he might have those same feelings. But the Jets are still a good team, and I think this will favor the Jets. But nothing against Amari Cooper. Dominant wide receiver that goes to a team in Buffalo that really, really needs help and immediately gets shocked into first, wide receiver 1 status with Khalil Shakir kind of being iffy right now with that ankle injury. So Josh Allen gets a weapon. Aaron Rodgers gets a weapon. How much is it going to change? I think the Jets fans probably wish this happened a week ago and you had him for Monday night against Buffalo, but a tale as old as time.
It would have been interesting if the trade went down for both teams and they could have debuted against each other, but that's Neither here nor there. Matt, you heard Dominique's remarks. What do you got on that real quick?
I'm kind of piggybacking on Dom a little bit. I agree with that Davante Adams is more significant towards that team. The camaraderie between Rodgers and Davante was really good for those seasons in Green Bay. However, I'm not going to sneeze on the pickup with Amari Cooper. That was a really good pickup. Amari Cooper I believe he's 32 years old, still kind of young, but he's one of those wide receivers that is semi-diva in the sense of he's not going to show you out publicly, but he's just going to mentally shrink down and just be done. And I'd rather deal with that than someone that's going to show you out and talk crazy on the sideline and make a big deal and embarrass you. And he still brings that number one competitive fire, a team that doesn't really have a true number one receiver. Like you mentioned, Shakira is still dealing with that ankle injury. So adding Amari Cooper to a talented Josh Allen, I think that's a great boost. So I do like that pick for the Bills. But again, I think Davante, with the chemistry he has with Aaron Rodgers, he already has Garrett Wilson. Alan Lazard's been playing pretty good. You add Breece Hall as a running back, you got three-headed monsters in wide receiver. That's nasty. If Aaron Rodgers can still be somewhat, a quarterback of what he was a few years ago, that team could sneak up and win that division. It could.
Well, let's see what happens, because I'm going to talk about the standings real quick before we move on. We got two other topics, and then we're going to jump right into the recaps of our 4 games. 2-4 used to be a death sentence in the NFL, but with 17 games to go in a season, and then also the fact that most divisions are mediocre at best right now. You have a couple good ones, but 2-4, you're only really a game out in first place, a game and a half, considering the Jets lost to the Bills. But a lot of these divisions are pretty mediocre, with the exception of the NFC North, in my opinion, and also with the exception of, I would just say the North right now from top to bottom. But other than that, most of these divisions are wide open except the AFC West. The AFC West, I think, is already settled in our opinions. Yeah. So real quick, guys, also to jump on who's coming and who's going in the NFL, you had Mateo bring it up in the comments. Aiden Hutchinson, Detroit Lions all-star defensive end. He breaks his tibia, and he's going to indefinitely be out. But I'm thinking probably wild card or divisional.
That man done.
I don't think so.
He's good.
I don't know, man. I've seen guys come back from broken legs. Look at Terrell Owens. I'm just saying. And then
did you see his leg?
I saw it, but I've watched enough football to see, because notice they didn't say he's done for the season.
No, they're not going to hint. I don't believe.
Yeah, I saw it yesterday. He's out for the season. They just picked up a player.
I haven't seen anything on him being out.
No. If in the case scenario that he's not out for the season, it's only week 6. They already had their bye week, so there's they're 4-1, so there's 12 games, 11 games remaining in their schedule. He definitely misses the regular season. Okay, he's done for the regular season. That's easy.
IR for 4 weeks. That man ain't
there's that man again. I think it's a situation where, depending on where they're seated, could tell me where, if he's healthy to come back for the postseason, does he come back wild card, division, or championships? If they get into that scenario. But if, again, lower seed on the road, bad weather hindering, or if Dan Campbell is in desperation mode where they're going into the playoffs on a downward spiral and they need a jump start, you might get him in that case scenario. I'll be interested personally to see it, because the Niners play the Lions the second to last week of the year, the final Monday Night Football game of the year. So where will Detroit be at that time, and will they need him? Because if they still are thriving, they might have the opportunity to rest him a little bit. But not going to lie, that was a bad hit.
No, I'm laughing at Randy's comment. He says that
Randy's comment, man.
My wallet is jealous.
That's a good one.
But it wasn't even yes, it was a contact injury, but it wasn't warranted. He was trying to bring Dak Prescott down, and the offensive lineman just wrong place, wrong time type injury.
Yeah, it was a whiplash. Big time. real quick, guys, too, on this one, since he's going, let's talk about who's coming. And not this week, but next week. All signs are pointing to Tua Tagovailoa returning against the Cardinals. Are you guys for it or against it? Matt, let's start with you.
Me personally, I might have to say I'm against it because of the history of his injuries, man. This is like the fourth time he had a concussion, and that man don't know how to fall. And until he learns to fall, I think he should just hang it up because it's going to be there. And please, I'm not condoning this. I'm not saying it will, but it could be a hit one day that might make him out completely. And so I am worried for his health and his future. It's not worth it, man. He had a concussion in college where he like broke his tooth. He's had 2 or 3 concussions, 2 of them in the last 2 years on national television. And he was throwing up gang signs on the last one. And so it's like, dude, like he got it for his health. He got to hang it up. My man was tripping.
Cold-blooded.
Oh, my God.
How do you follow that one, Dominique?
Last week I had all the Deshaun Watson jokes, and that's it. I will gladly give Maddie the crown this week. I think it's not warranted to have him come back. That's, the amount of head injuries that are becoming more prevalent in this game are increasing by the moment. If he doesn't come out with a Guardian cap on, Miami's got a problem.
Double one.
You have to give that guy as much protection as possible. In the grand scheme of things, taking out the concussion for a minute, him coming back does revitalize this Miami Dolphins team a little bit because without him, you can see they are 100% anemic. They have no offense. They were lucky to beat New England in that case. New England gave them that game. And Tyreek, Jalen Waddle are going to be happy to see him. And against that Arizona team, they might tee off a little bit and kind of come out in style in a sense. So, and with that division, Buffalo 4-2, Miami 2-3, Jets 2-4, New England 1-5. Anybody except for New England, it's a winnable division. So correct. If Miami gets on the right foot and wins and they go back to 500, they could probably be like, we're in it. We can handle it. We got to make a run. It can happen. And Tua's our guy to do it because if he doesn't play, a lot of jobs could be at stake in Miami.
Agreed. Now, here's my thing. Are they that good to even make a deep playoff run, even with Tua?
No. Defense, no.
That defense does not look good. Running back, Mostert and Etienne haven't been playing really good. And that might be a reason because Tua's out. My thing is, even if you bring him back and you make that division competitive, because like you said, it's up in the air. It's between the Bills, the Jets, and Miami. Even if you do bring him back and they go, 10-7, and they make the wild card, is it worth it? Is it really worth it? I say let the season go. Let him rest. You already know what you got. This team is not good enough to even make a deep playoff run. Get a nice high draft pick and get better for next year. Have them ready for next year.
Have a quarterback in waiting.
Have a quarterback in waiting.
If you look at their schedule right now,
it ain't going to get prettier.
It's a little favorable for them if they're firing on all cylinders. They got the Colts this week, which
Flacco.
If Flacco plays, it could be an interesting matchup. Then they have the Cardinals at home. Then they go to Buffalo, which could have a lot of implications. And then the Rams, the Raiders, the Patriots.
Okay, so, the last 3 they can win.
I would say if Tua is healthy and they're running on all cylinders, in those 6 games they're 4-2. That puts them at 6-5.
Again, is it worth it?
Yeah, but coaches may think they're going to get fired down there. I think for some reason the Dolphins think they're a big market team. The owner thinks it is. So the pressure might be on the guy trying to be a black guy down there as the coach. So I'm just saying
that part.
Yeah, exactly.
It's good for them.
He could pull the race card to save his job. I would do that if I were him.
I think for the Dolphins, final thought, I think it's going to come down to the final 4 division games. Bills, Patriots, and the 2 against the Jets the final couple weeks of the year. I think that's the only way. They have to sweep those games in order to have some sort of realization like we can do this.
Yeah, and they're not good enough to beat the Bills. They may compete with the Jets, but that can go either way. So
and that's if Tua stays healthy the whole time.
Yeah.
Now
hindering.
Let's get started in some recaps, and let's start off right away by talking about the shittiest division in all of football. Mine and Dominique's division, the NFC worst.
What? Here it is.
So Seattle, as you know, is my team, and the 49ers are Dominique's team. For some reason, the NFL said F you to both of us and put us on a Thursday night game on a short week. Now, I know that other teams get to do that, but normally not against rivals. And, well, the last couple of weeks, it's been rivals going at it. I think it was the Falcons and Buccaneers. But anyway, long story short, Seattle needed this win. They could have put the Niners at 2-4. Potentially putting them at 2-5 when the Chiefs beat them next week. But no, Seattle played into the Niners game, let them run all over them. Seattle told them we're running the football, and the Niners stacked the box. And by the time they pulled their heads out their asses, they still had a chance to win that game. But 3 turnovers later, a lot of stupid penalties, and the Niners walk away with yet another victory. So after Seattle had dominated that series, winning 17 out of 20 with Sierra's bitch at quarterback. Since it's changed, we are now 0-6 against the Niners, including playoffs. Dominic.
Hi.
That is my rant, because I feel that the only thing I will be in the last thing I will say, Dominic, before I give you the floor.
Yeah.
I fucking love those jerseys, by the way. I love our Seahawks jerseys, and I love your Niners jerseys.
That's the only thing you got good.
The jerseys were amazing.
It was a great throwback Thursday.
It was
great. I think that, the Niners lately, the last 3 seasons now, because Thanksgiving last year and the year before, they purposely have worn those 94 road white throwbacks in Seattle. So if that becomes a tradition, I'm all for it. No problem at all. I told you guys in our internal chat that night, I think it took my butthole about 24 hours to declinch from that game. I did not care one single bit that we had a big lead at half, because I knew the last couple of weeks with all the inconsistencies, watch Seattle make the first move and adjust first. And they kind of did. The Niners got that touchdown to Kittle, the toe tap in the corner, and you kind of felt a sense of relief. I'm sitting there saying, cool, now don't screw it up. And what do they do? The initial kickoff? Screw it up. And let Chenault go all the way deep. And I'm like, okay, here comes unraveling. And for a good, I would say, 30, 40 minutes of lifespan time, it got too close. But got to give it up to the 49ers rookies, Mustafa and Green. They did a great job of coming up big with some interceptions on Geno Smith. And even without Charvarius Ward, the Niners found a way to make, as Mario puts it in the chat, DK Metcalf disappear. Now, yes, DK did have that touchdown get pulled back due to a penalty and another big catch taken away. So that was to the refs. But outside of any penalties, they did a good job of preventing him from being DK Metcalf. Now, Todd, I don't know if you agree or disagree with that one.
No, I agree. I thought they neutralized them pretty good. I thought where Seattle failed was not going enough to the tight ends and to lock it, or even they shut down in Jigba, but they really messed with the tight ends. I saw a couple times the tight ends were open, and the key to the game for me was once they made that comeback, the Niners gave them 2 quality drives to take the lead. They're like, here you go, man. If you can do it, do it. And what did we do? We went ultra conservative after playing really high up tempo. And then, so we had to punt. Defense gets a stop, and then Geno throws the game away, literally. If he throws it 5 feet over or a couple feet higher, that's going to Metcalf on a slant. He's got smooth sailing. That's a touchdown. Yep. Instead, he throws the slant perfectly to the defender.
I think Tyler Lockett is always somebody, as when the Niners play the Seahawks, I fear. He's sneaky good, doesn't take a lot of hits. He slides. He does his business the proper way. So yes, he had some big catches, but it wasn't, I guess, overly detrimental in that case. On the Niners side of things, offensively, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but Brock Purdy does what Brock Purdy's been doing all season long. Being, in my opinion, maybe it's a little biased, but it is what it is, one of, if not a top 3 quarterback in this league
I agree.
Now. Like you talk about
Todd's agreeing.
I agree because the numbers don't lie, dude. As much as I hate the guy, he ain't lying. And he's even better when you don't get a rush on him. The times that we put someone in his face, he was a little erratic, but when you give him time, I mean, he's a surgeon out there. I hate to say it, but like
where he puts the ball to Kittle in that.
Real Todd?
Yeah, it's real. Hey, he's got a perspective, but
I got humbled, bro.
Where he put that ball for Kittle, the touchdown in the third quarter.
Oh, that was
placement. His scrambling is getting even better to be elusive, and even when he throws the ball out of bounds and saves a drive, just his quarterback rating is through the roof. His IQ is through the roof. If he was playing the quarterback position for the 49ers, when they went to the Super Bowl the first time against the Chiefs, Niners win that game.
I have to agree. Kaepernick.
Because Kaepernick was against Baltimore.
Oh, that's Baltimore. Yeah.
Yeah, but the Jimmy Garoppolo interception game.
Oh yeah.
I think Brock Purdy makes a couple of throws. It was still a close game. It would have been like a field kind of like this past Super Bowl. I think the Niners would have came out on top in that game. Again, I'm not going to live in the past here, but
I know Matt's been waiting a long time, but last thing before.
No. Hey, this is y'all team. I'm chilling.
Who's 31 for your team? The running back?
Isaac Guerrero.
Bro, I had flashbacks and I was shaking like Matt does when he gets the goosebumps right there when he gets the chills, because I pictured, especially with those Seahawks jerseys, Bo Jackson running up the sideline on that last run, that 76-yard run. I'm like, God damn it, it's all over again. It's prime time, a long ass run to put us out of a game, because I remember that Bo Jackson one killed us in that game way back. So
no, I think just to have the backup running backs, especially Guerrero, step up in that way after Mason went down, that was huge. And especially after losing McCaffrey as well. So overall, my hole was clinched the whole game. It's a divisional battle. It is what it is. I don't take anything for granted until the clock hits zero. Niner perspective, it was a good bounce back win, and you get 10 days to prepare for the Chiefs, the refs, pardon me. And, but again.
Did you say the refs?
Oh, yeah. Not you, Todd, as well as I do, and Matt knows. I don't care what type of team both the Seahawks or Niners have. It's always going to be competitive, regardless. It's who balks and makes the first mistake first.
Dominique, we are both 0-0. So what does that mean? The season starts this
tonight. Let's do it. But hey,
okay, Roger.
There we go. Matt, any final thoughts on Niners Seahawks?
I loved how you guys broke it down for the majority of the time, because that was both of your teams. So I don't have much to say. I will say this. I do agree. 49ers did do a good job on DK Metcalf, neutralizing him. Outside of those, like you said, the penalty that they took back, and then the touchdown they took back. In fantasy world, he only gave me 4 points. So they shut him down. Yep. So that should tell you everything. And I agree with you, Mario. Yeah, he disappeared.
I was kind of dumb. I did keep DK in one of my fantasies. So when he had that touchdown call back, I was like, "Yay!" Shit.
I will say this though. First half, competitive a little bit, and then the Niners pulled away. But in the second half, I'm with you, Dom. I wasn't too sold and to say like, okay, it's over. I think you guys were up. I can't remember the score at halftime, but you guys were up more than 10, I believe.
It was 17-6.
16-3.
16-3. Okay. I was like, you know what? Seattle might come back. I'm not sold. And I think you guys scored a touchdown to Kittle, then the kickoff return, and I was just like, oh, there you go. It's good. Yep. It's coming. But you guys held it down. It was a really good divisional game, and Seattle had his opportunities. They just didn't capitalize. And Geno Smith, even though I have him on one of my teams, he just didn't step up like I thought he would. So kudos to the Niners. Purdy is a good quarterback. I will admit. I hate your team, Dom, but I will admit that they're looking really good. I don't know how they'll fare against the Chiefs, but we'll see. Maybe this was a good get-right game for them.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Well, let's jump into the next game, and the next game has to do with. Wait, did you hear that? Another touchdown for Detroit.
You know what time?
Detroit takes.
I just opened my ears to listen.
Well, last year at this point, the Cowboys are 3-0 at home. They are no longer. They are 0-3. Detroit is 2-0 on the road, 47-9. Matt, I don't even have a breakdown in this one.
Yeah.
Take it away.
Do I have to, man? I swear to God. I stopped watching in the second quarter. I'm being dead honest. I started doing laundry. I started cooking, cleaning, and all the stuff that people do at home. That game was embarrassing, and I can't believe I picked the Cowboys to win that game. I was just thinking, like, you know what? They just beat the Steelers, and no one thought they were going to beat the Steelers, so maybe they might miraculously beat the Lions. Go into the bye week, everything will be good. Nope. They didn't even show up. No touchdown. When Dak Prescott threw that interception in the red zone again, it was deflating. You could just feel the air just getting sucked out of Dallas. And it was, Fort Worth, Texas. It was just horrible. It was horrible. It was horrible. We have no run game. All three of us combined can outrun Ezekiel Elliott right now. I guarantee it. You put some pads on me right now.
Not to the buffet line, though.
I can get you 3 yards. I can definitely get you 3 yards.
Ezekiel Elliott's going to have at least 2 touchdowns on Thanksgiving.
Hey, I'll take that. And his total yards is 10.
That turducket's already been accounted for by Ezekiel Elliott.
Man, yeah, exactly, Mario. You stabbed me in the heart, Todd. That was embarrassing. Yeah, Prescott gave me 5 fantasy points.
5? That's generous. I thought he did less.
I was done. Give it up to the Lions. They did what they were supposed to do. They got revenge on the game where we should have lost last year. Let's be real. I'm going to keep it real. We should have lost that game. The refs helped us on that day because that was the anniversary of Jimmy Johnson. I think Jimmy Johnson got inducted into the Cowboys Hall of Fame. So that was more of a here's your day, Johnson. So Dan Campbell did not let off the gas at all. When he did that trick play and he flipped it to the I think it was Montgomery, and he flipped it back to Goff, and he threw it to the tight end. The Laporta?
Oh, the Laporta one. Oh, not the O-line one.
Yeah, no.
Look, I was telling Steve Elise, I'm like, why is Goff still out there in the third quarter? I didn't see the need to play him in the second half.
There was an agenda for Dan Campbell in that game. I'll just beat them.
A bully.
He was a bully.
They were throwing passes with a backup quarterback.
Bro.
Dude, they had offensive linemen lining up as wide receivers.
That's and we're over there on the sideline, like, hurry up, this game's over.
That was a Dan Campbell masterclass of how to be bitter against a team you played against and be like, up yours with a rubber hose. Like, come on now.
It was over after 7-3. Now I was like, you can't trade field goals for touchdowns with that team.
No,
it was over.
Now, Matt, I told you this. Now, Matt, I told you this before we went on, and this is my only thought because the score speaks for itself.
Yep.
Jerry Jones, from last year's Cowboys team to this year's Cowboys team, they have a nice, classic, fancy car.
That's a good analysis.
Instead of putting beautiful white wall tires, shining it up, getting a new running back, beefing up your roster, you cut a running back, you bring old ones back, you don't do anything else, you shell out huge money to Dak and CD. Those white wall tires were replaced with flat old miniature slash tires.
That's pretty much it.
It devalues the car, and you're reaping the benefits. And I apologize that Jerry Jones is 82 and this inept.
Well, first of all, y'all all breaking my heart. Y'all just cut me some slack. I got embarrassed on Sunday. You know how many people text me and call me? I ain't heard from people in 13 years, and they call me, how about them Cowboys?
At least it wasn't on prime time. At least it wasn't prime time.
Yeah, you were only the game of the week.
On prime time, so everyone can see how embarrassing we are.
It was only Tom Brady.
It was only the Fox game of the week. So
and Tom Brady over there talking about, this team is horrible. Shut up, Tom Brady. I don't want to hear you either. I didn't want to hear nobody. My Sunday was depressing. I turned it off in the second quarter.
Let's talk about another one right now. Hold on. Oh, it's another penalty thrown on the floor right now. Talk about a game, because we're going to move on from the atrocity in Big D to the penalty, the yellow draped flag all over the Jets Stadium. Jets and Bills. These two teams accumulated nearly 300 yards of total penalties. The game went on for almost 4 hours, a couple minutes shy of 4 hours. For an NFL game, that's a long ass time. That's no overtime either, which this game should have went to overtime.
Mm-hmm.
A Randy special. You had 2 missed field goals in this game, almost 30 penalties. You had over 30 penalties that were called, but some were taken back.
Yep.
You had some really egregious ones that weren't called. I mean, look, Sean McVay was jealous about how much ref time the refs were getting on television. So it's bad when that happens. And mix all that in, the game was really good. For the most part, it was really good outside the penalties. This was a knock 'em drag out. Both teams don't like each other. The offensive linemen were fighting with the defensive linemen. There was a lot of drama. I mean, the best game so far for, I think, Rodgers anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Breece Hall had a couple big runs. I would love to get Randy's take on this.
I wish Randy was here, man. I just wanted Randy to be on this.
Yeah, I want to know what in the comments. Maybe Randy can let us know what he feels about the offensive coordinator new and now the coach, how they did. So, Dominic, thoughts on this game, brother?
It was a very interesting game. I took a lot out of it. What I got from the Jets side of things was Rodgers can still sling it. And again, first game without Robert Saleh, and the offense looked improved. Breece Hall ran better. They changed a couple of things. Garrett Wilson, for the second week in a row, was utilized to the tier 1 type wide receiver that he is. And of course, as we said, Davante Adams is going to add to that now. You got old vintage Aaron Rodgers slinging it up at halftime and getting a hail and a prayer and a Mary. And
what about that one, huh?
That was, and again,
vintage Rodgers.
He is bringing Alan Lazard back to life.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of things to like for right now with the Jets. Defensively, I think they could have schemed Josh Allen a little bit better because he did not have the full assortment of weapons like he has in the past with Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis, and they were kind of thin at the wide receiver spot and no James Cook. But somehow they had, to me, Josh Allen on the ropes at times, but they couldn't fling him off the ropes and send him down the cliff. So I think they just got to put that last hammer, drop the hammer a little quicker. And I think that defense will be right back to being dominant. They're just missing that edge right now. And I think, again, a lot has gone on. But the flags, we've talked about this all year with refs and the Chiefs and flags. The refs are playing too much of a factor into almost every single NFL game, regardless if you like the team or you don't. Too many instances. We got to cut this down. Something's got to change.
I agree, because even on some of the penalties, it's one thing if they're consistent, but they weren't in this game. You could tell.
No.
The safety from the Bills that wears that inflatable helmet.
Turip or rip or wrap or whatever.
Yeah, he hit one of the receivers, and I forgot what down it was on, helmet to helmet. And in the back, I'm like, oh, well, they're going to throw on 15 yards right there. And they didn't call it. And then there was one where it was shoulder, and then there was a weak call for Rodgers on a sack where I'm like, where's the unnecessary roughness? I mean, there was a lot of weird stuff that happened.
But then there was sometimes where Rodgers got sacked, they called, personal foul, late hit on the quarterback, and it was because of the body weight situation.
Yeah.
And Aaron Rodgers in the press conference is like, even though we got 15 yards out of that, that's a BS call. That should not be a personal foul penalty in this league. So again, it's inconsistencies at the problem, but they're coming in at too many pivotal moments. That's
correct. Like third and longs and whatnot. Matt, real quick, Randy loved the offense, by the way, so that's good for him. That's trending up. Matt, what did you think of the game?
Pretty much mostly what Dom said. The defense was what really let the Jets down. You mentioned no James Cook. Shakir was battling an injury, and they didn't really have that offensive firepower that they normally have. The Bills do. I mean, you still have Josh Allen, of course. So I would have thought coming in, Jets got this, because they're still top 5 defense when they're firing on all cylinders. So I thought this was going to be a win for the Jets, even though I picked the Bills. I thought it was going to be a win for the Jets coming in on Monday because of all the circumstances. Offense looked great. Alan Lazard, dude, he's making Rodgers is coming along, and he used to play with him in Green Bay, so they have that good rapport. So that should tell you that when Davante comes back, it's just going to even be better. I'm not worried about them offensively. First game without Robert Saleh, and they show that they have a good rapport with the team. Breece Hall, 2 big runs, had a good game. I haven't seen that consistently all year, so that should be a good sign for the future and more games to come. And when you add Devontae, man, I think the Jets bounced back after this one. This was a game they definitely could have easily won. Penalties also played a factor in this game at pivotal moments, like you said. This game could have been easily the Jets, and I would have been 11-3. But but hey, Bills still pulled it off. It was a lucky. It was I wouldn't say lucky. It was a close game, but they pulled it off at to get a close win. So kudos to the Bills, but the Jets should have won this game.
Yeah, the home cooking on the win did not help Zerline in that game. 2 off the post. I haven't seen that since Chicago, huh, Mario? Just
What Mario do?
Here we go. Mario's coming in the chat.
There you go.
He sure is. And by the way, we're going to talk Mario because Super Mario's probably happy. The Bears improved to 4-2 as they take out the hapless coach killer Jaguars 35-16. And this, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but the Jaguars are going to be playing back-to-back games in London.
Yep.
Is that the first time they've done that?
First time ever that the NFL has allowed a team to play back-to-back weeks.
They're going to be like the Lions and the Cowboys on Thanksgiving.
They should just be over there. But
what's sad is they lose a true home game out of that in Duval County.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, that sucks.
That's crazy. So the Bears being the home game in this one, a home team in this one, take it rather easily, pouring it on in the second half. Again, second straight week, Caleb Williams goes off, has a good game. The WNBA star, doesn't matter what he did with his numbers. Most of that was in garbage time, second half. The Bears, again, this has been a team we've talked about on here and other shows, and I'm sure the Jets pod did this last year as well. And Randy, I've heard his takes on the Bears too. You never have to worry about their defense. You could just go through it and no name draft the defense. The coaching staff can change year after year. The defense is always a staple of Chicago. It's always been, can we get a quarterback to get that offense moving? And look, again, I still think he's a bust, but maybe I'm wrong, because right now they haven't played the NFC North yet.
Yep.
But guys, the Bears are trending where they're where I think a lot of us didn't think they'd be right now, and that's at 4-2.
I agree.
Yeah, I maybe didn't have them at 4-2. I think maybe in some case scenarios, games that they won, I thought the opposing team was going to be better. I think we all thought Jacksonville was going to be a little bit better than where they are now, at least competitive wise. Maybe not. Rams in that case. I really think the Bears season is going to hinder on how they perform in their in-division games. Because after the bye week, they play the Commanders, which will be a very interesting game. Between Williams and Daniels. They play Arizona. They play the Patriots. So those 3 games, they could easily go 2-1 and be 6-3. But then a gauntlet. Home against the Packers on the 17th. Home against the Vikings on the 24th. And then on a short week, Thanksgiving in Detroit. Back-to-back-to-back divisional games. If I'll put it out there. If the Bears find themselves winning 2 of those 3 games, I'll consider them legitimate threats to win that division.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I think honestly, I think the Packers are trending. Packers are trending in the right direction. The Lions are good. I think Minnesota is the real questionable team right now. They're coming off a bye week. What do they have in store playing competitive teams now?
And Dom, doesn't that sound insane, even you saying it? Because it sounded insane me hearing it, that you mentioned those teams that have losses that are legit trending up. The one that's undefeated, we're questioning, but it's true. Yeah. That's how wacky the NFL is.
Because Detroit has proven they were in the playoffs last year. They've been up and coming. Packers last year, up and coming. Jordan Love playing well. The Bears, again, defense is good. They've been searching for a quarterback and finding the glue of that offense. And right now, they have it in Caleb Williams the last couple of weeks. Vikings, Kirk Cousins leaving. They thought there'd be a drop-off. Is Sam Darnold again? Is he here to stay, or is he just temporary? That is the biggest factor. If Darnold is here to stay, it makes that division very interesting.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't expect the Bears to be 4-2. And I'm going to be honest with you, Caleb Williams has probably been playing better than any quarterback in the last couple of weeks. So I got to give him credit where credit is due. I didn't expect him to be at this level at this point in his career. You know how we always say about USC quarterbacks, they're usually a bust. But I got to eat some crow on this one. He's been playing really good. The Bears dominated that win. The Jags, I don't know what to say, man. They should just dismantle that team. Peterson's going to get fired. There's no question. I believe if he loses this next game, he might be fired. That's just mine.
What did I say a couple of weeks ago? I said by the time they leave London, he may be left on the tarmac.
He might be left.
He may be Ted Lasso and coaching soccer next year.
Dude, I don't know who they're playing this week, but whoever they're playing, if they lose, you might see Peterson be.
You have to. They're hosting New England.
I swear to God, if they lose to New England,
they better not.
And it's Drake May, not Jacoby Brissett.
If Drake May beats Trevor Lawrence, Peterson's gone. It's just no question.
Well, if they're playing a game of basketball, since he is familiar with the WNBA,
you know what, Todd? You gotta go there, man.
Well, let's jump off that game because Mario gets too happy. He's talking about Caleb throwing to Metcalf.
Mario could be painting his nails right now in preparation for the bye week.
I'm still calling it. At some point this year, Caleb jumps into the stands on his mom's lap. I'm just saying.
Leave that man alone. He loved his mom.
All right, now let's go to a guy who put up. Let's go away from a game where a guy like Caleb Williams put his money where his mouth is, put up and shut up. Let's talk about a guy who doesn't shut up, and that is the midget from Arizona. Another day at the office? Not so much. Nope. Maybe for the opposing quarterback, Jordan Love kicked his ass, and the Packers pushed the Cardinals to 2-4. They are who we thought they were, right?
And who was that?
Yeah,
Cardinals, a sucky team.
I think, losing Marvin Harrison Jr., losing a big target threat. He hasn't had a dominant rookie campaign, but that's still, you lose one receiver. They went to McBride at the end of the day. It was raining. It was cold. It was not going to factor in for Arizona. James Conner was fumbling the ball. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong. To me, it's simple. The Packers were just the better team.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm with you. I for some strange reason, I could have saw Arizona beating them, but when I realized they were playing in Lambeau, it was over. Packers usually don't lose in their stadium, and Arizona is a hot weather state. So I don't know, they were used to that type of environment. But like you said, losing Marvin Harrison for a concussion was a big blow. McBride was doing pretty good. He was targeting him, their tight end. But, I mean, Green Bay was just loaded, man. Jordan Love was dominating. He was doing his thing. Aaron Jones had some good plays. They were spreading the ball around. Arizona just was no match for them. So Green Bay did their thing.
I mean, when you see some Packers fans wearing cheese heads bigger than the Cardinals starting quarterback, you know they're in for a big.
Why are you making fun of that man?
Sorry.
He can't help it that he's 5'8", man.
He should have,
5'8" on stilts, maybe.
You know for sure when he plays his little video games, he's a 6'8" thick monster. Todd knows he's got the Willie Calhoun dong in him.
He sure does, probably. So let's move on to the Colts versus Titans, and a quarterback that is starting for Indy is winning, and it's not the guy they drafted. It's a guy that was drafted like 20 years ago, and Joe Flacco, a guy that Cleveland fans wish they still had, but he comes out 22 of 38, 189, and again gets the Colts over 20 points or right at 20 points. They were averaging 30 the previous two games. He gets that offense rolling against a really good defense because despite what people think, we all know the offense struggles mightily in Tennessee, but their defense is legit, and this game was really closer than expected, but in the end, Flacco leads the drive to go down there to get the win, and the Colts are 3-3, alive and kicking.
There is no way. I forget who the Colts head coach is.
Some guy.
Yeah, some guy. There is no reason why Joe Flacco does not stay the starter in Indianapolis. You have to ride the wave until he lets you down. Because if you do a switch while he's hot and Richardson comes back and they could get wins, but if it's not pretty, what are you doing? Let him develop. Flacco can teach him something. Let him, let him go through the progression, let him go through the motions of different things. And really, the next 5 games for the Colts is a gauntlet. They have actually 6: Dolphins, Texans, Vikings, Bills, Jets, Lions.
Wow, that's a tough schedule. That's
like if you want Anthony,
disrespectful.
You do not want Anthony Richardson leading that way because the opposing defenses will eat him alive. Flacco gives you a better chance. The only game, actually, maybe the Dolphins game is the only one because their defense is the weakest that you could put Richardson in, and I'd be like, they could win. Everything else, hell no. Hell no. But, hey, tip of the cap to Joe Flacco for still putting it up at his age right now. Like, led the Browns to the playoffs. He could lead the Colts to the playoffs because that division is whack, with the exception of Houston. Like, Joe Flacco, man. Like, come on. Let go.
Flacco's doing the thing. By the way, Randy's 5'8", guys. We shouldn't be talking about no people that's 5'8".
He would quarterback better than Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I still think even if they're the same height, Randy's taller. But go ahead, Matt.
Randy's taller for sure. Shout out to Joe Flacco, man. He's holding it down. He's for his age to still be doing his thing and even showing some mobility, man. The last couple of games, he's been moving out of the pocket and scrambling when needing like 4 or 5 yards. Give him credit. I agree. Don't put Richardson back in. They're doing way much better without him. Let him develop. Let him, work under Flacco and learn something. And not only that, this up-and-coming schedule that Dom said, they could go 0-6 with Richardson playing. They might go 2-4 with Flacco playing. Let's just be real. They might win the Dolphins, and maybe, who the last game you said they played?
Jets.
They might win. They might beat the Jets. Maybe. It depends on what Jets team show up. Other than that, they're not beating the Texans. That's over. So
let him cook. Let Flacco cook.
Let Flacco cook, man. He's a Super Bowl champion for a reason.
Yeah, I agree with both of you guys on that one. Let's move on and let's get through this one pretty quickly. His next couple games. Texans at Patriots. The Texans win 41-21. The lone thing you could take out of this is what Nats fan says. She says that Drake May is pretty good and could be pretty good for the Patriots moving forward. He went 20 of 33, 243, 3 touchdowns, but in a losing effort. Guys, I'll just ask you guys this. Texans, are they the second best team to the refs in the NFL, or do you guys think they're better? In the AFC, I should say. Sorry.
Top 5 for sure, because Baltimore is still there right now. They're missing Nico Collins, but when they're fully healthy and CJ Stroud is right, definitely top 5 for sure, if not top 3. The defense, I think they need to get one big trade to get a big clutch defense guy, and I think DeMeco Ryans could do that. But yeah, I could see them being talented and being kind of that next wave, CJ Stroud, and kind of good for the next 5 to 7 years with that roster. But it's a good team. And again, they dominate. I know it's the Patriots, but even without Nico Collins, dominant team. Very nice win.
Absolutely. Matt?
Are they the second best team in the AFC? No. I got the Ravens above them. If they were to go head-to-head, I'll pick the Ravens. The Bills might even beat them. So I'm not saying they're top 4, top 5. Yes, absolutely. Shout out to Drake May. He did pretty good. I mean, it wasn't really his first game, but the first game he started. 3 touchdowns for your very first game. Yeah, I'll give you credit for that. That was pretty good. Even though it wasn't a loss, take some encouragement out of that one. So did the Patriots find their future quarterback? We'll see. We'll see what he does in the next game. But, yeah, Texans top 2? No. 4 or 5 at best.
Okay, interesting. We'll see how that plays out with you guys predicting the rest of the way. That moves us on to the Buccaneers and the Saints. And literally, guys, the Buccaneers forgot to play one quarter, and it nearly cost them. They went on to win 51-27. They once had a 24-0 second quarter lead, only to give Rattler and those Saints 27 points to where they had the lead at halftime, but then 27 of their own again scored in the second half. Saints blew them out. Are the Saints in your top 5 for the NFC?
No.
Not the Saints. I'm sorry, Buccaneers. Buccaneers.
Oh, Buccaneers. I was going to say my Saints.
I was about to say Saints ain't in
I'm
here.
like, Todd. Woo! No, I would say like the Colts with Flacco, I'm so glad Tampa Bay is letting Baker Mayfield cook. You know, he's a guy that has earned his stripes in the league, went through a bunch of hard times in Cleveland, bounced around, got a second win in that Monday night game against or with the Rams against the Raiders. And Tampa Bay took a chance on them post Tom Brady era, and it's paying off. It's a high risk, high reward type offense where they're going to score 50 points at times, but their defense is going to have massive lapses. And coming off the week before and that bad loss to Atlanta when they came back in overtime and then have that second quarter meltdown, you're going to get that every once in a while with that Tampa Bay defense. It's not as dominant as it was where Tom Brady was playing there. But Baker Mayfield knows what he's doing. And if you're going to go with give me 5 quarterbacks that could win a 50-50 shootout right now, Baker Mayfield's one of them. He'll swing it. He came back.
Really?
Yeah, I think he does. You know, he knows how to sling it. He puts in the right spots. He has a really good relationship with Evans, Godwin, and even Sterling Shepard, who no one's talking about right now.
Yeah.
So I like Baker. I think he's doing a great job in Tampa. He fits that scheme, and that scheme fits him.
Agreed.
I'll tell you right now, I'll take Baker Mayfield over Dak Prescott right now. Book it.
Ooh.
I'll take him right now. Book him.
Yep.
Are the Saints? You would you say a top 3 team? You said Todd?
Buccaneers. Top 5
Buccaneers. I'm sorry. You said are they top 3?
Top five in the NFC.
Yeah. Knocking at the door. They could be. I got Minnesota, the Lions. Believe it or not, I'll still put San Francisco above them. They probably 4 or 5 again. Yeah.
I think Matt's right. They're knocking at the door. They can be there. They got to clean up some more things.
Yeah, they can be there.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I respect Baker. When he was in Cleveland, obviously he had one good season, and that organization, I think, as a whole kind of ruined him. So him resurging his career in Tampa, I believe I like that. I like that about Baker. He's a really good quarterback. He's got fire. He's got that gangster in him. You saw that run play where he ran up got like 15 chunk yards and was talking smack. Like, what's up, boy? I loved it. I love that fire in your quarterback, man. Took a big hit, pulse, and just jumped up and was like, yo, what's up? I'm here. And put up 51 points, man. I wish we had 51 points. We could have won. Anyways, I'm not.
You'd only won by 4. Let's move on now to. I want to ask a 2-part question of you guys, real quick. Browns at Eagles. Eagles win 20-16. Real quick to throw some numbers at you before the question. Deshaun Watson in their last 26 drives, 0 for 26 on third down. 0 for 26. Number 1, why isn't Jameis Winston starting yet? And then number 2, who takes the blame for this? Because from all indications, and I'm not even going to talk about Philadelphia because I don't think it was worthy of talking to. I don't think this was a win they deserved to win in all actuality with the talent they have. But the Browns guys, the owner is pushing Watson because he gave him all that money. Is the GM going to get fired for having to push it on the coach, or do you fire the 2-time coach of the year?
Well, first part of your question is Jameis Winston. He's not in yet because he's waiting for the W to cook. he's got to cook a little more. But no, with Deshaun Watson, I think it was last week we talked about this. I think the GM is going to get the boot out of everybody. The owner's not going to take the hit. You can't really fire Stefanski because he's kind of just utilizing what the GM has given him in that sense. And there was a lot of hype on this Cleveland team coming in, not Super Bowl bound, but their defense was supposed to play way better than this. Way better. Not even playing close. And the offense, they're playing as good as their name. Brown like the stain in your shorts. Okay? They are. Oh, you just said it. 0 for 26 on third downs. Like, I know they're missing Nick Chubb, and that's a big part of their offense. But would Nick Chubb be saving this team right now?
No.
It helps. Maybe it makes scoring games a little closer. And maybe they get 1 or 2 more games out of it on the win column. But definitely. Oh, God, Artie Moreno in disguise. Help us.
That's a good one.
Maria.
That's a good one.
I think the GM is going to probably take the hit on this for sure.
100% the GM is going to take the hit on this one. I mean, Deshaun Watson ain't going to fire himself. You sign a man who hasn't played in the NFL, that season prior to, and you pay him that much money. At that time, the most paid money for a quarterback?
Yes.
And he hasn't been playing worth a dime. 0 for 26. I didn't know that stat, but that's embarrassing. You can't throw in Jameis Winston, not just yet, because you have a high-paid quarterback. You can't just waste money like that. You're not Jerry Jones, so you got to wait it out. And then after the end of the year, you fire the GM immediately, and then you keep the coach, and then you start Jameis Winston.
But
if you keep him.
Yeah, Randy in the chat makes a good point. A new GM would probably want his own coach.
True.
So Todd, that is true. That is true.
I'll flip it back to Todd for this. If you are a new GM going into an organization with a 2-time coach of the year and this whole scenario, would you want to keep Stefanski your first year, or would you say, thank you for your service, we're changing course completely?
It depends. If I have an ego, I get my own guy. If I think I can win with a 2-time coach of the year guy, and I've got to make a hard move right off the bat by either releasing Watson or finding someone that'll take him, that would be the way I would do it. It's hard to say, what I mean? So
who in their right mind would pick up Deshaun Watson's contract?
An XFL team. So I mean,
Jacksonville. They'll lose the WNBA
the Jaguars
and get the masseuse. Or Trevor Lawrence, the WNBA star, becomes the masseuse.
The Jaguars is the only team I can see picking that up. Let's get rid of
Dom.
Todd, I knew you'd love that one.
That was pretty good.
Very disrespectful, Dom. I heard that.
Man.
Yeah, I hope you sip on that water. Y'all leave Trevor Lawrence alone, man.
Now let's move through these last few games, because outside of this game, most of them were a stinker past this. The Commanders and Ravens, I thought, played one of the most entertaining games of the day. For the first time, fellas, I saw a lot of Commanders fans at a road game. Usually their road fans for the Commanders are non-existent, and they've been like that since probably RG3.
Yeah.
But this game, it was nice to see. They had a really good amount of Washington Commander fans there, and sure enough, the Ravens win their 4th straight, but boy, they had to struggle. Daniels was putting up numbers. It forced the Ravens to open up their offense. This was a good game.
It was.
It really was. And I know that Maryland rivalry of Baltimore and the Commanders, so a lot of fans come out for that crosstown rivalry. I'm going to say it here and now. Commanders win the NFC East. And I'll save it for one of the other games. I'll save the second part. But I think Commanders win the NFC East. No doubt about it at this point. Dallas is struggling. The Eagles are questionable at best. You're in a situation now where I think, here's my take on Baltimore. They could be a really good team. I think they play down to opponents.
Yep.
And I think they thrive in sliding by the skin of their teeth, and they want the media to think, oh, they just edged it out. Look at them. They made the big play at the end. It's like, did you not watch like the 70 plays before that of them being shaky? I think it's very touch and go with them. And that's why I don't know if they'll ever get past that hump. And I'm not talking about, the Chiefs and the refs. I think just in general. And maybe it's Lamar Jackson. Maybe it's their defense, which is pretty good. I don't know. I think there's, even with Derrick Henry, I still think there's something missing in Baltimore. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. Maybe it's Lamar. Again, even if it's inconsistencies and they're small, sometimes the small things make the biggest difference. But props to the Commanders. They got something good rolling there with Daniels. They're going to win the division. He'll win the Offensive Rookie of the Year. No question. Lock in. I submit that now.
He said, book it, Dano. I will say the one thing that's missing in Baltimore is definitely a true wide receiver. Zay Flowers is good, but I don't see him as a wide receiver 1. He's for sure a legit 2, and he's playing a 1. But if they add another receiver to that team, book it. Ravens taking it. The Commanders, I was impressed. They actually competed against a juggernaut team. Their schedule, I'm just being real, their schedule was kind of soft, and they took advantage of the team they beat. And I said, let's see what they do against a worthy opponent. And they could have beat them. So I give Commanders the utmost respect. Is that their division to win? It looks like it. I can't say for sure yet, because I agree with what Mario said. They lack experience, and that might hurt them. They do remind you of that Houston of last year with that young raw talent. This team reminds me of the year when RG3 took over, and they just took over and went to the playoff, and they had a great season that year. I'm not comparing the team. They're not the same team, but it's just that atmosphere. It just reminded me of it. I believe they revived that team. They're going to be a team to beat in the future. If they don't win the division this year, even though I think they will, they're definitely going to win it for the next couple of seasons. We might have in the NFC, we have yet to have a back-to-back winning division team to win it back, I think, in the last 10 seasons, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
it's always been a different team. Cowboys won last year and don't look like we're going to win this year, but Philly still might. So I will say that the Commanders look really good. Give them credit. We'll see. They're leading to be the division leaders, but we'll see what happens at the end of the season.
This is definitely one that they're going to learn from and get good experience. I think you get good vibes out of it. You can't really take good vibes out of a loss, but I think in the Commanders' case you can, because they've been down for so long.
Oh, yeah.
Dan Quinn was rallying those guys pretty good.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dan Quinn, man. He's a good coach.
He sure is. I miss him in Seattle.
I miss him in Dallas.
So San Diego Superchargers, known as the LA SoFis, they went to Denver and they put a beating on them for 3 quarters, but then almost gave it away. I don't know if you guys saw at the end of the game, the onside kick, if it's a little bit slower, that Denver recovers that ball and has a chance to go in for a tie. They hold on 23-16. Not much on this game other than the fact that Knicks kind of let me down. I thought he progressed a little bit better in this game. But overall, the Chargers improved to 3-2 under Harbaugh.
Denver screwed up my pickups this week.
That one thing.
So I'm feeling very disrespected by them. But hey, no, it's 2 teams that we none of us, including Randy, were not high on this year. I think we thought, okay, this is the Chiefs division, and the Raiders are going to be better in this. And I said that. So this is my moment of eating crow a little bit for the Chargers. I think they're going to be they're a vastly improved team. They still got holes. I think they need a true number 1 wide receiver so Herbert can throw. And I think if you add another bona fide defensive player, I know they're missing Bosa and a couple other players to the mix right now. But Jim Harbaugh, even through the heart murmurs and the arrhythmias in the Mile High City, the Chargers are looking decent. I don't want to say they're going to the playoffs, but they could definitely knock on the door of threatening and stealing a wild card spot with a little 3 or 4 game winning streak. They could sneak a little bit because they're better than the Raiders. No doubt about it. Denver and them, I feel, are very equal in their own way.
True. Matt?
Yeah, I mean, I picked the Broncos too. I thought their defense would be, the saving grace, and especially playing at home. But the Chargers snuck in and got a good win. They're a pretty good team. Justin Herbert. I know Randy don't like Justin Herbert, but I still believe he's the top 15, top 10 quarterback. He could be knocking on 10, definitely top 15. He lost most of his weapons, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, all them. So his true number 1, he needs a true number 1. He's got J.K. Dobbins as a running back who's resurged his career because he's always had injuries. So he's been playing pretty good. And Harbaugh is an excellent coach. So I can see the Chargers being a team that will definitely make you compete to make the playoffs. Like if you're one game down and you're playing the Chargers and you got to win to get that playoff seed, they're definitely the team that can knock you out. I don't think they're an easy win. I don't know if they make the playoff this year, maybe next year. So we'll see. But shout out. But honestly, Denver had their chances, and Denver is definitely a team that is sneaky good. They're sneaky good. We'll see what Knicks do in the next game. But yeah, shout out to Denver. But give Chargers their credit.
Now that moves us on to shout out to Steelers fans because, again, I thought it was a mistake. I think a lot of us thought it was a mistake, them going to Vegas. You could say, oh, they have the Taj Mahal of stadiums, but they lost. I think those Oakland fans that were loyal from Los Angeles and Los Angeles fans that were loyal from Oakland, that I don't think those guys exist anymore, guys. They've been priced out of that new stadium, and Vegas fans, they're all transplants. You know that. People come from all over to live in Vegas. Big mistake, because I saw 90% of that stadium filled with Steeler fans and terrible towels. And the score was like a 90% over the Raiders because not much to say on this one, guys. 32-13. Raiders lose.
My thing is, after the reports today of Mike Tomlin considering Russell Wilson to start this week, here's my statement to him if I open the door. Knock, knock. Why? Why? Why would you consider that? You right now, in this moment, Pittsburgh with that win, is 4-2. Why? You're moving the ball. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing. The only team you're trailing, and I take that back, you're not trailing. You are tied for first.
Mm-hmm.
Do not make a change. If you make a change, just give Baltimore the division on a platter.
I say check it out. Why not check it out, dog?
Nope. Unless the matchup warrants it. They play the Jets this week. Nope, don't try it now. The Giants the week after that. The Commanders,
I can say try it.
And then the Ravens, a divisional matchup.
Actually,
I got one for you.
All right, go for it, Matt.
The Jets might beat the Steelers their next game because, adding Devontae, it could be definitely Jets winning.
Yep.
Do you not try it out for the Giants? Because let's be real. Is Justin Fields really going to go off on the Jets? The Jets are a good defense.
I would say this: you have less of a chance to turn the ball over with Fields than you do Russell. Russell,
Agreed.
the last couple of years, has been a turnover machine. So,
I would at least try it. Just do one game. Just, hey, we're going to try Russell Wilson. One game. If he stinks it up, don't pick him in again. If he wins it, then you're like, okay, that's a dilemma I want.
It's the reverse of what Indianapolis is going through. It's the reverse.
Yeah.
They have a good quarterback in Pittsburgh. Do you put in a questionable one? Which is kind of what Indy's going through right now with Flacco and Richardson. Sure. I think Pittsburgh, before the trade deadline, needs to go get a receiver. Because George Pickens ain't the guy. I don't care what anybody says. Put me on the mountaintop. I am not a George Pickens believer. I will not be picking him.
This is a record for so disrespectfuls by Matt.
Don't be disrespectful. He might not be a wide receiver one, but don't disrespect him, man.
Okay.
He needs somebody else to complement him. Is that a nicer way of saying it?
Okay, I'll give you that. But who, like Randy said, who's available? If they would have added Amari Cooper, that would have been a good pick.
Well, look at Jacksonville. Is Jacksonville going to part ways with a lot of people? You got to start looking at the bottom feeders in the league right now. Look at Jacksonville. Just Cleveland maybe get rid of Jerry Jeudy.
Hey, if Miami had benched Tua for the rest of the year, I would say Waddle would be dangled, right?
You could.
I like Waddle.
In my opinion, Carolina, Deontay Johnson. He's on a 1-year deal. Carolina ain't going anywhere.
They got rid of Deontay Johnson.
Hey.
That's what I'm saying. Out of the NFC, that's the only wide receiver I can think of, but it wouldn't work.
Look, I know for Pittsburgh's short game, though, Adam Thielen would be awesome. Thielen would be awesome. I'm just saying
Adam Old Man Thielen?
Yeah, he's still making receptions there in
Carolina before he got hurt. Last year, it was his squad when Bryce Young was struggling.
Yeah.
That's not a bad choice.
I agree. They got fire moved out there tight end. He's a solid tight end. Don't give me that look. Don't give me that look, man.
He's not bad. He's a role player. He's 3 catches, 30 some odd yards, like 3 to 5 receptions, 30 to 45 yards, and a touchdown every third game.
Hunter Henry or Pat Freiermuth right now? Who would you rather have? Go.
Probably. Okay, I would lean towards Freiermuth, but I would lean toward Henry if I have a running offense. His blocking ability is better than Freiermuth.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's talk about which game would you fall asleep to if you had the opportunity to get the most Z's. Would it be Falcons at Panthers, which we're going to do these 2 games at once since they suck so bad, and then the Bengals at Giants. Giants fall to 2-4. Bengals improved to 2-4. 17-7 was the snooze fest on Sunday night, and then Sunday afternoon was Falcons whooping up on the Panthers 38-20. Which one would put you to sleep if you were forced to watch one?
Anything Gigantes. That's all I gotta say. That's it.
Yeah, I would agree. The Sunday night snooze fest. Like there was why wasn't the Commanders and Ravens in Sunday Night Football?
Yep.
Yeah.
I know you can't flex that early in the year. You have to wait till like after week 10 or something like that. But Atlanta, they're doing their business. Carolina, Andy Dalton got them. Hey, Andy Dalton got him 20 points. Cool. Here's my thing I was going to mention during the Commanders thing. I'll say it now. So I'm probably going to get a lot of boos my way. Legitimately, on the consistent level, I think the Giants are the second best team in the NFC East.
Oh,
no. Yep. Because Dallas, no. The Giants defense, with the exclusion of the first game of the season, has actually been decently consistent.
I hope your picks start reflecting that last take, but go ahead.
They hold Joe Burrow to just 17 points, and if you take away the stupid play when he runs it in, okay, they hold them down who had been scoring a lot. No offense, they take down Seattle, okay? They hold the Cowboys to 20 in what should have been the Giants should have won that game. They should have, but the Cowboys did their business. If Daniel Jones was not inept, they beat the Cowboys. Okay? The Commanders. The Commanders, who have been dominating the NFC East, only beat the Giants by 3. The Giants could have won that game, and they beat the Browns and lost to the Vikings. So the Giants, to me, I think right now, are better. Now, that could change next week if the Eagles get better and Cowboys fix their things. But through the first 6 weeks, the Giants are a little more on the consistent level than the Cowboys and the Eagles. I might be off, but I'm not completely blind, in my opinion. I'm just saying. Like, it's kind of, the deep numbers, if I go deep diving, it's probably not pretty. But optically, on the basic eye test, they've given away 2 games that they should have won. They could be tied with the Commanders. That's a scary freaking thought of this NFL script theory.
I'm going to say this. I don't agree, but I will say this. They haven't had Neighbors, which is their best player. And Robinson looks like he's going to be a pretty good second wide receiver. I'll give you that. If you had a different quarterback other than Daniel Jones, I would agree with you 100%. But as long as you got Daniel Jones, you suck.
I get you. I at that point, I'm not disagreeing with, but even with Daniel Jones's inconsistencies, they're near losing games they should have won or actually winning a game. Like, it's crazy to think how this division, which has been so Eagles, Cowboys heavy for the last, 5 to 7 years?
Maybe 10.
Is now sort of semi-flipping with Commanders.
Washington always, every 7 years or so, they'll come back and be that top team. It's about 7 years. Yeah, and then they'll lose for another 7 and come back. Yeah. I'll say this.
Yeah, no, say it.
I'll say this. The Giants ain't beating nobody in our division. They're not beating Philly. They're not. We own them, even though we suck. And Washington, if they played right now, Washington will destroy them. So you got to win your division. And I feel like if you can't even beat your division, You're not a second best team.
And
Shut up, Randy. Shut up, Randy.
Could you imagine losing to
I
them?
think Matt's got a point. I think what the caveat to my statement is they've only had one divisional game or two divisional games, and they should have won. They should have won. They should have won both. They lost by one possession. So as they get later in the year, and again, this could change next week. They could shoot out a dog dookie, and Dallas wins and Philly wins, and it changes the complexion. You know?
Oh, absolutely.
So now,
shut up, Matt. 47-9. I'm gonna start calling you 47-9.
How dare you? Don't be disrespectful to Todd.
Just don't call me 6'9".
There you go. Well, here, Matt, you got that timer ready because we're gonna jump into week 7. Guys and gals, get your picks ready. We'll record them in the comments as you see the ones that are sitting right there. You two can join Mario, Mateo, and also Natsvan. So there you go.
Timer ready.
I have Randy's picks as well.
Okay, so you could chime those in right before you do your 20 seconds or whatever.
We'll do.
The first game is going to be on Prime. It will be the Broncos, the return of Peyton to New Orleans to face not Carr, but Rattler and the New Orleans Saints, fresh off a beatdown at home. Broncos coming off a loss, so something's got to give here. Broncos Saints tickets going as low as $27. Denver is a 2.5-point favorite. The low over-under is at 37.5. Go for it on the 20 seconds.
Go.
Let's see how this goes. Okay, so it's not going as dramatic as Randy's. But we'll take it.
The best we got.
Bear with us. I actually like the Broncos on the road here. This is going to be a stinker. It's going to be a defensive showdown. Saints will put up a few points, but in the end, I think Knicks gets it done.
Ooh, groovy.
Yes.
All right. Dom, let's go.
Dom's got to give his take on for Randy first.
Randy is going with the Superdome New Orleans Saints in this one. He's going to go Saints. I'm going to align myself with Todd in this case. I think this is a big game for Sean Payton to return to New Orleans, all the pageantry that may go on with the video tributes and a lot of different things. Drew Brees is probably going to be there to welcome him in. And Bo Nix is going to want to play. The defense, I think, is going to play better against the rookie Rattler. It could be sneaky where they can score some points, but I think Denver wins this one.
There you go. All right, Matt, as soon as the timer's ready, what say you?
My bad. I was so distracted, I forgot who's playing. Who's Thursday?
Denver, New Orleans.
Give me Denver easily.
Come on.
That defense. I'll just let the timer go out. Just give me Denver.
Okay, he's going Denver all the way right there. So 3 versus 1 right there. That'll move us on now to Sunday, October 20th. If you're on the West Coast, you're waking up at 6:30 in the morning. And why would you? Because what's that? That's a shit football game. That's what that is at 6:30 in the morning. It's New England 1-5 versus the Jaguars 1-5. Does Trevor Lawrence and those Goldilocks hair win in London, or do the Patriots with their Drake May steal the day? Put the timer on. Look, if I had to pick a tie, I would pick a tie because this game is, man, I'm not going to waste 1 minute on this one. I just want to see the final score. Jacksonville's a 5.5-point favorite. I'm going to go with the Jags on this one. It's going to be like 13-10.
Ooh, nasty. Well, Randy's going to go in line with you, Todd. He's going to go, as he puts in the chat, the Jag-offs at this point. I'm going to go the same way. I'm going to go Jacksonville. I think they got to get right or else Doug Peterson's going to be fired. Drake May is probably going to have a nice game against that Jacksonville defense, but Trevor Lawrence might find a way against that bad Patriots D.
Do I need all 20 seconds?
Take it as it comes to you. That's what she said.
Oh, whoa. Easily, I'm going with the Jags. I don't trust the Patriots. But then again, Mondre Stevenson is pretty good. You know what? I'm going with the Patriots.
No.
I'm going with the Patriots. Drake May.
A switcheroo before the clock buzzer beater.
Yep.
Dude, Matt's always good for at least one of those.
There you go.
He sucks you in just to spit you right back.
Right.
That's what she said.
Yeah, exactly. All right, now let's move on to the first 10 a.m. game on the West Coast. It's the Seattle Seahawks 3-3 losers of 3 in a row. Those assholes go to Atlanta. Atlanta's 4-2. Tickets going as low as $73 for this one, and I wouldn't pay $73. God, my team is sucking it up bad. 51.5 is the over-under, though. That's a high one, so they're predicting a shootout, even though Geno Smith has 6 interceptions. But let's go. Let's go with that timer. Look, I really want to pick the Seahawks to win this game. I do. And I am a homer. You know that. Yeah. I love this team, even though I hate them. But even I know that Kirk Cousins in a non-evening game, even if this was a night game, I'd still pick the Falcons, and I am going to pick the Falcons to win. Seahawks lose their 4th in a row.
Well, Randy and myself are in agreement that Atlanta is going to be hot Atlanta because Kirk Cousins is going to keep the Atlanta Falcons hot. Even with the extra days of rest, Seattle, as Todd mentioned, Geno, the 6 interceptions. It'll be a high-scoring affair, but Kirk Cousins gets Atlanta to another win this week.
I don't need all 20 seconds. I'm picking Seattle to lose. I got you, Todd. Look, man, Kirk Cousins has been playing pretty good. You got to give them credit. They come back from the bye. I look for Bijan Robinson to go off on your defense. Give me the Falcons.
I think we could go off on the defense the way they're playing, but yeah, I agree. That moves us now to our first outdoor game in the U.S., and that'll be the Titans. Touchdown, Titans! 1-4 versus the Buffalo Bills, who are 4-2, Randy's favorite team. 60 degrees and cloudy. Tickets going as low as $141. They love them Bills. Bills are 9-point favorites. The over-under is 41, so they're predicting a pretty big blowout here. Let's go. Josh Allen and the Bills had to play, I think, a little bit over their head to beat the Jets, including getting some help with the refs and the field goal post to beat the Jets. However, none of that will be needed when they play the Titans at home. I think this is easily going, if you're going to take the over on this one. I think the Bills win by 11. One more.
Maddie, I'm not going to need the timer on this one.
I'm going to put it anyway.
Okay, we'll go for it. I know this is an interdivision game for Randy. This is his Jets. Those are the Bills. He doesn't like picking them, but in this case, you got to pick him. Randy's picking the Bills. Bills. There is no explanation. Bills.
Hey, you never know. The Titans might win. Remember the Titans? They might. Okay? Remember them.
Was Denver going to be on the sideline?
Hey, man.
I remember Will Levis knocking out some guy's old man's knees.
That man going to be throwing at least 2 picks, 1 pick 6 for sure. Give me the Bills, man. Easy.
All right, so that moves us on to the game. You guys remember that game, Battleship, that board game?
Oh, yeah, heck yeah.
Well, the Bengals can sink the Browns' Battleship, and they'll be right in the toilet as most Brown things go. The Bengals could improve to 3-4 and get kind of back in the race with 64 degrees and cloudy versus the Brownskis, who are 1-5, and they refuse to bench Watson. Watson gets the start again. Tickets going as low as $44. Cleveland at home is a 6.5-point underdog, or actually favored, and 41.5. So not only does Vegas think this is going to be a touchdown or more win for Cincinnati, but they also think that Cincinnati is going to struggle much like they did against the Giants. Let's go. Look, I am still waiting. We are on week 7, waiting for this Bengals offense, now that they're fully healthy, to be a competitive football team, a playoff-like looking team. I don't see it still, but they are playing Cleveland. And with that being said, Deshaun Watson, give me the Bengals.
Randy is going with Cincinnati as well. And I'm going to take that. I'm going to follow Todd, Randy, Mario. Bengals got to show up. This is the week, the get right week. It's going to be a nasty little dookie coming out of the Browns into the toilet. It ain't going to be pretty because they're going to do it against the team from the jungle. They're going to have to dookie in the jungle. Go Cincy.
I like how you reference poop in your pick, man. That's pretty disgusting. That's very disgusting.
Hey, 13-1, baby.
I get it.
He can talk.
Give me the Bengals, man. He said Dookie. I haven't heard Dookie since 5th grade. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's how throwback it was. He said Dookie. Give me the Bengals, man, with the Dookie.
The Dookie shuffle.
Hey, Jameis Winston can be throwing up those Dookie signs.
That's true. That's true.
That Dookie.
Now this goes on to what I think is the game of the week. Houston Texans 5-1 venturing into Lambeau Field to play the Packers 4-2. Tickets going as low as $174. Green Bay is a 2.5-point favorite. The over-under is 47.5. And it's going to be 56 degrees with some light to moderate rain. Let's go. I believe that the rain usually affects, or the weather usually is in favor of Green Bay, the home team, but I'm going to go the other way with this one. I think Houston and D'Amico Ryan's defense shows up, shuts down Jordan Love a little bit. He will get his, but I think who will get his is C.J. Stroud more than Jordan Love. Give me the Houston Texans.
Randy's going to go with the home Lambeau faithful. Go Pack, go for the Packers, as he says, at home all day. And I am going to second that motion. I'm going to go Jordan Love and the Packers. Their defense has been very good lately. And if it was clear skies, different day, it could be a shootout. Joe Mixon is back, so I think this game is going to be down to the wire. Could end up a field goal, but I'll go Packers.
This is a good one. It's in Lambeau.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Yeah. Hey. Two young quarterbacks. Is Nico playing?
Still on the IR.
Oh, yeah, that's right. 4 weeks. Packers.
Damn, I'm the only one. Okay. I like that.
You like that. You like that.
So that moves us on now to a game that could have been good, but someone had to get a concussion. Tua's Dolphins 2-3 on the road in Indy versus Joe Flacco and the Fountain of Youth. Tickets going as low as $91. Indy is a 3.5-point favorite. Over under is 44. It's indoors. Let's go with that timer. 7 touchdowns and 1 interception so far for Joe Flacco, and that interception wasn't even his fault. I like the Colts, and I don't like them big because I think the Dolphins somehow always play sneakier on the road than at home, which makes no sense, but they do, in my opinion. So I do like the Colts in this game to win.
Randy is going to hit up the Colts on this one. It's good. I think it's going to be a decently sneaky matchup with Tua coming back probably. You're going to air raid. The Colts defense has been susceptible to some big games. Look at Jacksonville a couple weeks ago. If Tua plays all right, they could sneak out this win. But erring on the side of caution, I'm going to let Joe Flacco cook a little more. Go Colts.
Ooh.
Mario Fins all the way.
I wouldn't be shocked if that happens. I wouldn't be shocked.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is Tua for sure playing?
No, he's out.
He's out? Go Colts.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. If he was playing, I would have went Dolphins. But with Joe Flacco, yeah, man.
Tua's going to start supposedly next week against the midget in Arizona.
Yeah.
All right, so now that moves us on to the game, which is going to be maybe the best game. Who knows? It could be Houston, Green Bay, or it could be Detroit at Minnesota. Detroit's 4-1, 2-0 on the road. Vikings are undefeated, 5-0, 3-0 at home. Tickets going as low as $184. Minnesota, 2.5 favorite in this one. 49.5 is the over-under. Let's go. What did the 5 fingers say to the face? Slap! Cold-blooded. Detroit puts a slap and a whooping to them Vikings. I think Detroit wins by more than 10, and we see the real Sam Darnold.
Oh.
That's all I need.
5 more seconds.
That's all.
2, 1.
I thought I came with it.
Randy is going to go with Detroit in this game. This is actually one of the most difficult ones for me because the Lions lose Aiden Hutchinson, which is a big part of their defense. That easily would have put Sam Darnold on his behind. That secondary scares me right now with Detroit. And with Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison ready to roll, that place gets cooking out in Minnesota. Close game. Someone's going to win it on a field goal. Don't kill me, but I'm going to say Minnesota.
Ooh.
You almost said it with a Minnesota accent.
Minnesota A. But I will say this. I'm going to say Minnesota. I want Detroit to win.
Gotcha.
I want Detroit to win.
How you gonna want Detroit to win but pick Minnesota, man? What's wrong with you?
If like I said, if Aiden Hutchinson was there, they'd win.
I'm picking the undefeated team. Until they lose, I'm not going to stop picking them. Give me Minnesota in a sneaky win.
Okay. 2 for Minnesota, 2 for Detroit, and the fans kind of agreeing on that one as well with Detroit there. That's a tough one to pick. Now the game that we were talking about that's kind of, or at least you guys were flirting around with, could the Giants, Dominique's, well, let's see if he picks who he was talking about right here because they go up against the Eagles. Giants host the Eagles 2-4, Eagles 3-2. Tickets going as low as $115. Weather will not be a factor in this one. 68 degrees and sunshine. Philadelphia 3-point, what is it called? 3-point favorite on the road. 42.5. Can't talk right now. Giants and Eagles. Let's go. Look, I hate how Daniel Jones quarterbacks for the Giants, those design runs and stuff. He's just an injury waiting to happen, trying to be another Lamar Jackson. I've never been sold on this guy. I have no idea why him and Watson got those big numbers. But with all that being said, I'm still going to go with Jalen Hurts and that whack Eagles team.
Randy is going with Philly. Fly, Eagles, fly. After all I talked about the Giants, they are consistent. They're going to do the job. I think Dable is going to come out with a really good game plan, except Saquon Barkley is going to return to the Meadowlands and run all over their ass hard. And when I mean hard, I mean like 150 plus yards and a trio of touchdowns. This game plan is all Barkley all the time. Eagles.
Whoa.
Randy.
That man said hard.
Giants are the 5th best team in the East. That's how bad they are.
Hey.
Oh, dang. Look, I don't need all the time on this one. I don't believe in the Giants. I don't trust the Giants. But they might make it interesting. They do play Philly pretty good. It's in Philly?
Yeah.
No, it's in New York.
East Rutherford.
Oh, yeah, it's in Jersey. I'm Philly.
Okay. Philly all around right there. Now it's not about who scores the most points in this game. It is hosting, on the road, while the Rams, whose house? Penis logo house.
Why you got to do that?
Rams are 1-4. Tickets for some reason are going for $136. The Rams are 7-point favorites. It's indoors, of course, sort of. It's not a question about, give me the 20 seconds. It's not a question about what the score is. It's how many fights there will be in the stand.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, there you go.
How many?
I don't know who's gonna win those fights because both are drunken fan bases. But give me the Rams, just because it is. Randy says penis logos all day.
Yeah, Randy's taking the LA Rams on this one. Literally, Todd taking verbatim the words out of my mouth about more fights than points scored. This is going to be an interesting game. The post Devontae Adams era. No Cooper Kupp. Maybe Kyron Williams could run all over. Give me Sean McVay and the Rams. I hate picking NFC West teams. I don't like it.
This is actually going to be a tough one for me because it's going to be a home game for the Raiders.
Yeah.
I think the Devontae trade enlightens the team. I think it sparks them. I think Antonio Pierce will be clear of the drama. Give me the Raiders.
Wow. Okay.
I like Randy. SoFi Stadium.
That's a good
SoFi
one.
Stadium. I like that.
Now, the next game is the Washington Redskins of Commanders of Maryland. 4-2, 2-0 at home. 7.5 points is the over under. Yeah, is the spread right there. The over-under is 50.5, 75 degrees, a warm one in Maryland, sunny. They're playing the bye week. So, I mean, come on. Is there much to be said about this? Carolina comes to town. So, 20 seconds. Don't need it. Don't even start the clock. Commanders.
Commanders for Randy. Commanders for me. Clinic from Daniels.
You didn't want 20 seconds either?
It was 20 seconds combined on this game.
Commies.
Well, first of all, how do you know I'm picking the Commanders?
Oh, come on now.
Okay.
Don't
Don't go crazy. Don't go. Come on. I had the crazy pick of the week of talking about the Giants. Let's save that for next week.
Hey. Hey, the Commanders. Come on now.
Yeah.
Come on now.
You see your phone got a rest for that one.
I got it right.
So now the game of the week on Fox, the only one at that 125 time slot. The Kansas City Refs at 5-0, 2-0 on the road, go into Santa Clara to play the 49ers. They're 3-3, fresh off a win against that scrub team in Seattle. Tickets going as low as 165, temperature 73 degrees, sunshine. Niners are a 1.5 point favorites.
Really?
46.5 is the over-under.
Oh.
Let's go.
My bad. I started you too, sir. Ready? Go.
Yeah. Look, it's hard to pick against the Niners in Santa Clara. I'll put that right there in your face. But the refs, there's something that if the refs weren't as so biased against or for the Chiefs this year, I would pick the Niners. But go Chiefs.
Ooh.
Heavenly Father, please allow the refs not to be wearing red and white of the Chiefs and listening to Taylor Swift in the pregame locker room. Randy says Chiefs. I get it, but it's my heart and soul. Give me faithful to the Bay. Go Niners. It's what they got to do. Oh, I got more time? Oh, okay. Yeah. Niners, let's go. Key to the game. Brock Purdy's just got to do what they got to do, eliminate the big play from Patrick Mahomes, and Nick Bosa's got to be invisible because he'll be not called for getting held half the game.
There you go.
Yep.
I won't take much time. I think it's become a very competitive game. I think the Niners are going to want revenge for what happened last year in the Super Bowl. However, Taylor Swift ain't going to let the Niners beat them. I mean, she's going to probably sing at halftime. I guarantee it. So give me the Chiefs to win this
one. Vomit all over the field.
We should start picking over-unders on how many times Taylor's shown on the broadcast. But
yeah, she has got – I read a tweet. She has not gone to a Chiefs road game yet this year. So is Santa Clara the first road game, yes or no? That's the true question.
True.
And I hope George Kittle and Kyle Juszczyk's wives kick her the punter the hell out of there.
Well, now that moves us on to the Sunday night game. Randy's One Jets pod, New York Jets, fly to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers and Russell Wilson on Peacock and NBC. Yeah, tickets going as low as $105. The Jets, Jets, Jets are up 1.5 point favorite. That has actually gone up a half point since they got Davante Adams. No lie. The low score of the week so far, 38.5 is the over-under, 65 degrees and clear skies. I will take a chance one last time, Randy. One last time. If the Jets lay an egg, there are no excuses. There are no excuses. But I believe with Russell Wilson at the helm, the Jets will create some turnovers and they will get just enough offense to beat the Steelers.
In true Randy fashion, he's going to go opposite. He's going to say Pittsburgh. Go on and put the good juju on his side. I'm going to go Jets, Jets, because if it's on Peacock, someone's got to be hard, and it's going to be Aaron Rodgers. Because Davante Adams is in town. Davante Adams is going to get some yards, going to score. They're going to celebrate, and the Jets are going to have a party this weekend at home.
Okay.
You know, you've been using a lot of hard references for the past couple of picks, Dom. You know, you said the Eagles are going to be hard. Now you said Peacock and penises. What's up with that, Dom? Give me the Jets, man.
The Jets.
Just give me the Jets. Dom with the poor references.
You know, I love it. You know, One Jets Pod is the staple of this page with Unfiltered Sports Podcast, and he refuses to pick his own team.
Hey, man, superstitions die hard sometimes, and if that works, Randy's going to roll with it. You know that.
I thought he would go with, like, you know, not taking a bath every, you know, for until the Jets win or lose or whatever. Superstitions like that. I didn't know it was picking against his team, but there you go.
Yeah.
So now we go to the useless games of the week, which not useless games, but one of these Monday night games is useless because, again, why are we doing two on? We talked about this on a Monday.
And the Arizona game's on exclusively on ESPN Plus only.
It's on the Ocho.
Yep.
Let's go with that one because we can't finish with that game. That just blows. It is the later game, but Chargers at Midgets. Chargers 3-2. Midgets are 2-4. Tickets going for surprising $22. I think that's too high. Chargers are 2.5-point favorites. 44.5 is the over/under. Let's go, dude. Harbaugh. I mean, Harbaugh could line up against the midget, and I'd still take Harbaugh. Helmet or no helmet. I don't like the Cardinals. Never liked them. Don't respect them. I've been over this before, and I ain't starting today. So give me the up-and-coming Chargers over the failing Cardinals.
Randy is in line. He's going LA Bolts in this case scenario. And so will I. I'll give some love to Jim Harbaugh and looking to go get that win for the Chargers. I think he's a better quarterback as a coach than the midget in Arizona. I think the defense of the Chargers is much better than Arizona's defense, and Herbert will play a good game. Give me the Chargers in the desert.
You guys are so disrespectful. Calling that grown man.
Damn right. Damn right, baby.
You're gonna think that's so disrespectful.
We blew a game to them. I'm pissed.
You know what? I'm picking Arizona. You lose. Give me the Chargers.
Oh, this guy. Right there.
That guy. Give me the Chargers, man.
I was gonna be like, all right, I see you, Maddie. You're sticking up for the midget, but no.
I think we all know as we go before you get into this game, for the Tampa Bay Baltimore game, this is going to be the points game because no one gives a crap about the Chargers Arizona.
I swear.
Let's not go there.
Y'all do
Let's have a good pick
again, Dom. If you do a price and right pick again,
hey, no, you're in control because I go before you, so you have the floor, my friend.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You're good. You're good this week.
All right, so this one's going to be a good one. It's going to be on ESPN. Ravens at Buccaneers. I wonder if the Manning brothers will be doing this game. They better.
I think I think they got the other game.
Oh, that sucks.
Maybe I'm not sure. I know Troy, Buck, and Aikman have this game.
Because I was just to get back on that Jets game real quick before I do the pick. I was enjoying them with Belichick the first half. As soon as they brought in those two washed-up actors, those hacks. That the whole simulcast was terrible. I went back to Buck and Aikman begrudgingly. By the way, I was forced to. It was that bad. But anyway,
yeah.
First of all, Buck and Aikman is good.
Well, they were better than those hacks that were on there with the Manning brothers. Ravens at Buccaneers, 4-2 are both teams. $64 is the lowest ticket right there. 82 degrees, a muggy one at 8:00 in Tampa. That's nasty. 3.5-point favorites are the Ravens. 48.5 is the over/under. Let's go. Look, I never favor Lamar and the Ravens, but I do give them respect, and I do pick them when they should win, like I did last week against the Washington team, even though Washington gave it their all. But there's something about the Buccaneers. Todd Bowles has been coaching that team up. He looks like a different coach with them other than the Jets. And I like Mayfield, like Matt brought out. The running game's better. Give me the Bucs in a close one.
What? Ooh. Randy at overall on this point, he's going to go Tampa Bay as well in this case. And Randy's going to go with 63 points as the combined. Todd,
I'll go with a straight 50.
You're going to go straight 50. Okay. Baltimore has a 30th ranked secondary. That's not good with a team that Baker Mayfield will pass to Godwin and Evans. In a close margin, overall, can they stop Derrick Henry? I think they can just by a little bit. Give me Tampa.
Oh,
Derrick Henry will get his share, though.
what's your point, Sean?
I'm going to go with final score 34-31, which is a grand total of 65.
Y'all must know something I don't know because y'all all picked the Bucks. And I hate to pick against you guys, but I'm going to have to, and I'm being serious. I'm picking the Ravens, and I got the final score 31-28, so that gives me a grand total of
51.
63? 51?
No,
Yeah.
61.
I can't do the math right now. 31.
Yeah, 61.
Yeah.
No, you said 31-28?
31-28. Is that what, 59?
59.
My bad.
59.
Okay, no price is right on this one, guys. That's good.
See, we'll keep this rotation so Maddie doesn't feel out of place.
Thank you. Thank you. Because last time I got that, I picked 44 and you picked 43.
And that's why the award says the Dominator 3 weeks this season with the tiebreaker. I am 3-1-1. Wait, no, math wrong. Yeah, no, 3-2-1. 3-2-1. Let's go.
I might as well be called second place Matt because I've been in second place all 6 weeks?
Yeah. Man, me and Randy are pulling up the butthole right now, so we're not impressive at all.
Hey, that steaming butthole that you guys are in is better than the Browns, little pecker. It's better. It's better than the Browns.
Dominus reference all night, man.
Sometimes Dookie hard.
Porn references. Well, final thoughts, guys. I'll start with myself first. It was somewhat of an entertaining week last week. I think we're going to get much better play this week. To be honest with you, there's potential for a lot of close games. So I am looking forward to it, but I'm still going to stand firm and hard that the butthole game of the week is the Patriots at Jaguars. I am not going to watch one play of that.
No, not at all. I think it's going to be, hopefully it's an interesting game. The games that we're expecting to be good, like the Texans and the Packers and Monday Night Football with the Ravens and Bucks. I really want those games to live up to the hype because that will make it a really interesting game. And of course, selfishly, I want the Chiefs and Niners to live up to that hype. And I would love the 49ers to be prepared for Dallas the following week with an above 500 record. That would be a glorious thing. But I'm actually really interested overall to see what happens with Randy's Jets. There's, like we said, there's no more excuses. They got rid of the coach. They got the trade. What other trades could happen next? That's the big question. Maybe after Matt has his take, what is one, my question to you guys after Matt is, what is one trade that you would like to see happen for your team or for another team?
Kraft.
What was that?
Jerry Jones for the Kraft over there in Patriots. Trade the owners.
Any final thoughts, Matt?
My final thought, looking forward to this week. Like Mario said, I have been consistent with the picks. I've been in second place all 6 weeks, so a little consistency. And to end it, I will say this. We missed you, Randy. The show is not the same without Randy, for sure.
Yes, sir.
We got to have all four of us. And without the four of us, man, it's not complete, man. It's not. So we wish Randy was here. Give Randy a shout out, y'all. And follow his podcast, One Jets Pod.
Yes, sir.
As far as a trade, dude, give me was it Chase Young or the other dude, the longtime Saint, because you can get him for cheap. I would love to trade for those two guys. We need some pass rush, so I would take those veterans in a heartbeat.
We need everything.
Everything. Find a running back, and maybe Dallas will take him this time.
Dude,
hey, Travis Etienne could be available.
I'll take Travis Etienne right now. Give it Travis Etienne right now. I'll take Trevor Lawrence right now.
Honestly, I'm thinking along the lines of Todd for the 49ers. Add another pass rush. You lost Hargrave. Max Crosby of the Raiders. That might cost you an arm and a leg in that case scenario. The Niners did pick up the ex-Packer Amos in the secondary, a little old. I think it's a veteran piece. I just want Christian McCaffrey back healthy. That's all I want. Can I do that? Is there the football gods?
You have to rip him off the Madden covers first.
Probably. Let's not talk about ripping, because then I think of his Achilles, and then that scares my. That makes, again, to finish out with a porn reference, that makes my butthole clench a little bit.
A lot of butthole references, like it.
Hey, the NFL script is one big giant butthole because it sucks. So there you go.
It does. And Taylor Swift is over there shaking it off at the same time.
I see what you did. I see.
All
Now
right.
you have me singing like her.
Wait, Randy goes in there and says, "I take Trevor too. That'd be a guaranteed McCarthy fire."
Oh,
Give it a boot. Give it a boot.
oh wow, Mario.
Answer the whole Cowboys.
Mario being so disrespectful.
No.
You're being very disrespectful, Mario. You're being very disrespectful.
Well, I'll just kill it here. We went a little longer, but it's still a great show. Although we are missing Randy. Randy should be back next week, as will we, on Tuesday, 7:00, recapping everything and talking about who was the king of the week and actually getting our picks in for week 8. So Dom right now is on top as he's
damn Broncos.
There you go. Could have been undefeated, because that would have been the first time I think me and Matt or anybody else we've done picks together.
We've never gone undefeated.
Never gone undefeated. We've gone close with our pages too, but that would have been a first.
Never.
So for Todd Fox, Dominique from Catella Chronicles, and Matt, we'll see you next week.